Welcome back aboard the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel. I'm Shelby, your Chief Officer Safety. There's a unique sense of freedom out here on the open ocean, a feeling of being between worlds. But that very freedom can also create confusion. Our mission on this channel is to demystify the complex world of maritime safety, giving you the clarity and confidence you deserve as a passenger. In our previous discussions, we've explored the essential onboard procedures, how ships meticulously report crimes, maintain detailed security logs, and undergo rigorous inspections to ensure compliance. These are the foundational pillars of safety that operate every single day, on every voyage. But have you ever wondered, when something serious happens mid-ocean, hundreds of miles from any shore, whose law applies? It's a question that cuts to the heart of maritime law. Is it the law of the country where the ship is registered, the nationality of the people involved, or the next port of call? The answer is a complex tapestry of overlapping legal frameworks. Today, we'll unpack this maze of jurisdictions, flags of convenience, and international maritime law. We'll explore who holds the authority to investigate, prosecute, and ultimately protect passengers when an incident occurs. Crucially, we will focus on how the Cruise Vessel Security and Safety Act, or CVSSA, empowers U.S. authorities, extending a protective legal reach far beyond the American coastline. On land, it's simple. The local police handle the case. At sea, it depends on a mix of where the ship is, who owns it, what flag it flies, and who's involved. Before the CVSSA, those rules often left victims stranded in legal limbo. Now, the lines of authority are clearer than ever. To understand how crimes at sea are handled, we first need to talk about a foundational concept of maritime law: the flag state principle. Under international law, specifically the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, every ship must be registered to a country. That country is its flag state, and the ship is legally considered a floating piece of that nation's territory. This system ensures that no vessel is stateless or lawless while navigating the high seas. So, if your cruise ship is registered in the Bahamas, Bahamian law technically governs almost everything on board, from labor rules to safety standards and criminal conduct, even when you're sailing in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In theory, a crime committed on that vessel falls under Bahamian jurisdiction. But this is where it gets complicated. What happens when that ship's journey involves another country's citizens or ports? This is where the simple flag state rule begins to overlap with other legal authorities. When that ship sails into a U.S. port, or even when it just carries U.S. citizens as passengers, American law can also apply. For serious crimes, the Cruise Vessel Security and Safety Act, or CVSSA, adds a critical, extra layer of accountability, creating a powerful jurisdictional reach for U.S. authorities, regardless of where the ship is flagged or where the incident occurred. The Cruise Vessel Security and Safety Act applies to any vessel that 1. Carries more than 250 passengers, 2. Has overnight accommodation, 3. Is not engaged in coastwise trade, and 4. Embarks or disembarks passengers in the United States. That last point is key. If your itinerary touches a U.S. port, you're under U.S. law for certain crimes, no matter where the ship was when it happened. The Federal Bureau of Investigation takes jurisdiction when the victim or suspect is a U.S. national, or the voyage departs from or arrives at a U.S. port, or the crime affects U.S. interests. So, if a crime occurs halfway to Bermuda but the ship's bound for Miami, the FBI still has the legal right to investigate once notified. While the FBI handles criminal investigations, the U.S. Coast Guard enforces safety, reporting, and compliance. They may board at sea, coordinate medevacs, or secure a scene until investigators arrive. Think of the Coast Guard as the first responder, and the FBI as the detective unit. 3 systems overlap on board every cruise ship: flag state law, where the ship's registered; port state law, where it docks; and international law, the law of the sea. The CVSSA bridges these systems by ensuring U.S. citizens never lose protection simply because the ship crosses an invisible line on the chart. Before CVSSA, crimes were often reported only to the flag state, sometimes thousands of miles away with limited resources. Investigations stalled, evidence disappeared, and victims got silence. Families campaigned for change, and that pressure led directly to CVSSA's jurisdictional reach, ensuring someone is always responsible. When non-U.S. citizens are involved, the ship's master must notify their consulate and ensure communication rights under international treaties. It's diplomacy in motion. law enforcement with a handshake. Inside 12 nautical miles of a country's coastline, that nation's law rules. Beyond 12 miles, we enter the high seas, shared international waters. But thanks to CVSSA, serious crimes involving U.S. citizens remain under U.S. federal jurisdiction, even in the middle of the ocean. The law also covers how evidence crosses borders. The chain of custody must remain intact from the ship to the FBI, even if the vessel visits foreign ports first. That coordination is what makes convictions possible despite complex geography. The ship's master is the legal authority on board. Under CVSSA, they must report any qualifying incident to the FBI and Coast Guard, preserve the scene, maintain accurate logs. Failure to do so can bring civil or criminal liability, rare, but real. When a ship docks in a foreign country after an incident, local police may also investigate under their own laws. It takes diplomacy and professionalism, allowing local jurisdiction while preserving U.S. evidence and witness integrity. The U.S. cooperates through agreements with Interpol, IMO, and Interpol's Maritime Security Network, sharing data on serious crimes at sea. The result is global deterrence. Criminals can't hide behind a flag. Since CVSSA took effect, dozens of cases once lost in jurisdictional gaps have led to successful prosecutions and policy reforms. It restored confidence, showing that law enforcement doesn't stop where the land does. Here's what to remember. 1. The flag state governs a ship by default. 2. The CVSSA extends U.S. jurisdiction to ships carrying U.S. citizens or using U.S. ports. 3. The FBI, Coast Guard, and DOT share enforcement roles. 4. Consular and international cooperation close the gaps. 5. At sea, justice travels with the passengers. Maritime law may be ancient, but CVSSA made it modern, humane, and enforceable. We've navigated some complex legal waters in this module, from the high seas to territorial boundaries, and untangled the web of who has jurisdiction when a serious crime occurs. Understanding the roles of the flag state, the port state, and how the Cruise Vessel Security and Safety Act empowers U.S. agencies like the FBI and the Coast Guard is crucial. It transforms abstract legal concepts into a concrete safety net. This knowledge isn't meant to cause alarm. It's designed to provide assurance. It confirms that even in the middle of the ocean, a clear framework exists to protect you, investigate crimes, and hold perpetrators accountable. The system is designed so that no incident falls through the cracks. And remember, knowing who's in charge out there isn't just legal trivia, it's peace of mind. It's the confidence that comes from knowing your rights and the procedures that are in place to uphold them. In our next module, we'll build directly on this foundation as we explore passenger rights and victim support. We'll move beyond the investigation itself to focus on the human element. We'll detail exactly how the CVSSA guarantees immediate care, access to confidential counseling, and dedicated support systems to ensure victims are treated with dignity and compassion. It's about ensuring the path to justice is also a path to healing. If you're learning something new with each voyage through this series, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss Module 11, Passenger Rights and Victim Support at Sea. Your engagement helps us reach more passengers with this vital safety information. I'm Chief Officer Safety Shelby, and wherever you sail, the law sails with you.